Dream Supply, giving you the tools and knowledge to make your dreams your reality.
I'm not really like in the business of like selling hype. At the end of the day, I consider myself a digital media artist, and that's what I plan on being like for the rest of my life, just probably, at different levels, just constantly growing to be the best I can in my field. But one thing I want to do, because I come from humble beginnings and I didn't have like a roadmap of anything figured out for me. I just want to show people that it's possible to wake up every day and do what you love as a career, whatever your passion is. I think that's number one in the beginning for anybody, because that's the only motivation someone should need. There shouldn't be a person that motivates you to want to live your best life, just waking up every day. Because a lot of people, they look for motivation, but at the end of the day, a person needs to be self-motivated. It's your life. No one is going to care what you do with it, right? Like, I have the same 24 hours you have, and the next person, and the next person, and at the end of the day, I don't care what you do with yours, because I know what I'm going to do with mine. So when it comes down to it, why would you want to waste it? You only have it's limited time. Why would you want to waste it? Like, you need to be doing whatever makes you happy during those 24 hours. It actually took me a lot longer than I wish it would have, because I didn't find my lane. I started finding my lane around 25, but I didn't really find it and fall into it until like 2010. So it was a journey of a lot of trial and error. Like, some people have a clear idea what they want to do very early in life, and then some people, usually creatives, we like to jump around and try different lanes of being creative until you really find what your calling or what your thing is. Film, I probably should have experimented with film earlier though, because I've always just been a huge fan of movies and storytelling. But then again, if I would have found it early, I wouldn't have had all my other adventures and experiences, which kind of ultimately lead to, me being the creative I am today. So there's so many different motivational outlets, whether it's a podcast or a vlog or a blog or just random things on social media. But, my thing is, with all that stuff out there, there's nobody laying the groundwork to help people like develop or figure out what they want to do. And then once they find out what they want to do, because we live in such an untraditional era right now where you can literally be anything you want to be. You could create something that's never been created. You can connect with people that you would never have been able to connect to on the other side of the world that have very similar or the same interests as you. And what happens when you start grouping people that have same interests, it creates market value. And now you're able to monetize or find ways of generating revenue, even if it's just people going and checking out your site or your YouTube channel. So it's going to take more than the motivation though to get going and get started. Because at the end of the day, when you listen to a motivational speech or someone's post, the thing is it gets you excited right then and there in the moment. But what happens when you walk out of the door into the real world? All of a sudden that exciting moment's gone, because now it's just a world of, what do I do now? Like, I'm excited, but I don't know where to go. I'm excited and I don't know what to do. So those are some of the things I think, like with Dream Supply, we're gonna we're gonna cover that stuff. We're gonna figure out, hey, regardless of how crazy your idea is or how out there, trust me, we can figure it out and make something happen from it.
What does hard work mean to you?
Well, I think it's a fair thing to say that it means something different to everyone, right? So for me, it's sacrifice and doing a lot of stuff where you have to make tough decisions like, oh, do I want to go to the movies or do I want to sit here and edit a movie? Do I want to go shopping for clothes or do I want to design clothes and make them? It's like you have to be obsessed with your craft, whatever that is. You have to be obsessed, and it has to be the most dominating thing in your day at all times, because that's the only way you're gonna be able to create it, because it has to come before everything. Like, when's the last time you went and hung out? I haven't hung out like in forever. Like, I hang out with people that do the same thing that I do, and it's more of like a creative exercise versus anything else, because this is what's most important to me, outside of my family, of course. Like, this is what's most important to me. So it's like there are no days off. It's 7 days a week. And there's no set hours. Like, I could wake up at 4 a.m. with an idea, got to go run down, write it down, or whatever I got to do to make sure I don't forget it. And another piece of the hard work and going after it is you're going to be nervous. You're going to be scared a lot, because it's the fear of the unknown and not knowing what the outcome is going to be. Like, it's accepting failure as your teacher. That goes in with hard work, because for every success that I've had, there's probably 20 failures behind it that took me to get there. So you got to just stay diligent and work at it. Like, hard work to me is doing a whole bunch of stuff you don't want to do initially. Well, I would say initially, when someone first is starting out on their journey, to don't have the mindset that someone's going to help you initially. I think ultimately at the end, once you've made some strides and have some structure built, it's easier, because that way people can see what's going on and it's easier to get a buy-in. But initially, this is a saying I say all the time. It's like, dream chasing is a lonely sport. And I say that not in the fact that like my family doesn't support me or my friends don't support me, but at the end of the day, when it's 2 a.m. and I'm making, like I'm editing a video or I'm building a website, like, you're by yourself a lot of the time when you're building something. It's not like you have someone there the whole time. And when you do something that's outside the norm, people are going to judge you. And I don't say strangers, I'm talking about family and friends. Like, they're not going to understand, because they're conditioned to think like, that's not a real job. Well, if you're making a living and you're providing a life for people, it is a real job. And sometimes it takes a while before you can actually make real money, because you have to build a portfolio and stuff like that. But initially, I tell people, do not go into it thinking, exactly, Peanut, exactly. See, he knows. People ain't going to help you. Not initially. They're not, because they're not going to know if you're successful or not. They don't know if they're not going to believe in your passion the way you believe in it. So you have to build it, and then they will come. I know it's so cliche, but at the end of the day, that's really what it is. And then as you start to grow, people will find you, and that's just the way it works, man. Just like how you found us, Andre, right? Like, and now it's been 2 months, and I think it's been I know it's been awesome on this side, having you be a part of the team and bring a lot of value to it. So, I mean, it's required when you start getting into great things, but initially you gotta be okay with being on your own and doing it yourself, because no one's gonna care about it the way you do. So with that is why I say fuck motivation, because you can't no one's gonna motivate you, no one's gonna do it for you. It's just The first phase is all about you and doing what you got to do to get where you want to be, and then people will start to see. I have been getting this year. I have been getting the most random text messages from people I haven't talked to in years, but they see the things that are going on, and they're like, "Man, I'm happy for you." It's like it's inspiring to them to want to go, because I'm trying to tackle very difficult scenarios, because the more you grow, the more difficult it gets, and you start playing in a different league with different professionals, so like buying a studio, building a studio, and all the intricate pieces that go along with that. And that's before we even open the doors and have to run a business to make it successful. I mean, it's just part of the okay, buddy. It's part of the leveling up process. But at the end of the day, for me, it's about the legacy and being able to give something to my boys, or at least give them the option, because at the end of the day, I want them to have the option of, I want them to write the check, not cash someone's check. So, end of the day, that's the motivation. Period. So, hey guys, I'm definitely interested to know your take about motivation and how it plays in your everyday life. So make sure to leave a comment down below and make sure to hit that subscribe button. And we'll see you next time. Peace.
Dream, imagine, create. Follow Michael on Instagram at directedbym3.